Right,
we're
so,
back.
you know, there's a little technical difficulty, memory, because of Nick's iPad. Anyways, I'm going to talk about the Trolls Nest rating. So, as you may know, I don't know if McCall mentioned it.
Wait, they cut off before what happened. What happened at the wait, McCall talking about
McCall was talking about how they were running low on supplies because, you know, it was raining, they couldn't start a fire and stuff like that. Right?
So they get captured by trolls.
Okay, they couldn't start a fire.
How the trolls died.
It was really it was cold. They were freezing. Then they saw this big light in the distance, big red light. So they started walking towards the light. Only Bilbo though, because he was a new guy. So they said they're not going to send out the whole people there because nobody knows what can be there. So they sent out the new guy. So Bilbo goes and he finds three trolls sitting by the fire, and they're starving. They want to eat. They're eating Newton, but they want to eat humans because it's been a long time since they last ate a human. They're getting a little grumpy. Bilbo sees this, so he's scared. So he decides to go back, but then he realizes, oh, I can't go back. I want to be some people that think good things about me. So he decides to try to steal something from one of the trolls.
To prove his burglarness.
Yeah. And so he sticks his hand into a purse, and he finds some weird things. He doesn't know what exactly they are. And then he continues. But then the trolls realize he's there, so they capture him. And they weren't able to decide what to do with them. And then Gandalf came, but he didn't announce that he was there. He started to talk in a troll voice to try to trick the trolls to start them to argue over how do we eat Bilbo. And the next thing you know, the trolls are fighting all over the place. Then the sun rises and they freeze and turn to stone. Therefore,
UV rays, scientifically proven that UV rays turn trolls into stone.
So then
Troll
Hunter.
So now you go.
Hans is the modern day Beowulf.
So now that you know why they raided the Trolls Nest, you know, they ended up finding two ancient elven swords by the names of
Glamdring and Orcrist, which are swords from Gondolin, which is an ancient elven empire.
And Gandalf took them out, right?
Yeah, Gandalf took them out.
Thorin takes Orcrist, Gandalf takes Glamdring.
Because you know in like the Lord of the Rings movies, he has a sword. That's where he
He
gets
got
it.
his epic sword, that's Glamdring.
So now after that, they go to Rivendell, and they go to Rivendell.
Chapter 4.
Chapter, 3, 4, whatever.
Read that.
So they go to Rivendell and they talk to Lord Elrond.
Eldron.
Yeah, and
he's an elf.
yeah. So I don't even remember what
Or
happened.
Elrond.
I'll go to it.
It's Elrond, and then
It's out. So they talk to him, they get supplies, they rest up. Everything's all good. Bilbo says she could stay at the last homely house, which is the house in Rivendell, where the elves reside. Bilbo says you could stay there forever. It's a wonderful place, no matter what you want to do. If you like to fight, you like to eat, you like to sleep, everything can be done there. But 14 days later, they have to leave. So they have to continue on their quest, but they're given supplies. Elrond looks at their map, gives them some suggestions. So everything right now is looking good. So then what they do is they leave, and then they make their way up towards the mountain pass. And when they get on, the Misty Mountains, which is a chain of mountains that cuts through Middle Earth. And so then when they're on the top, there's two wicked storms that collide right on top of them. And it's a wicked storm. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, it's shaking the mountain.
Yeah.
And then...
would you explain the storm? Is this with the stone giants?
All you need to know is stone giants exist. They're
there's
across the valley.
giants of stone, and
They
the
toss rocks
storms.
at each other.
The storm with them by tossing rocks at each other, which causes the group to seek refuge. So they find an they think abandoned cave, and they're staying there. So during the night, it's pretty good. They feel pretty lucky because the storm's it's still going hard, so they can't leave. But as during the night, a crack opens up in the back of the cave, and they're all kidnapped by goblins. So goblins just pick them all up and leave.
It was bad.
And goblins hate doors, like they hate them. This is a really good find for them. And at the same, so they bring them to the Great Goblin. The Great Goblin's kind of like the king of the goblins in the Misty Mountains.
He's physically superior to
But
them.
as they're being kidnapped, Bilbo sees them, so he screams, which awakens Gandalf, who is able to escape before the goblins take them all.
The goblins didn't care about him.
No, because he killed them, so he killed some of them, so they know that there was someone else, so they know that there's someone else missing, but they don't really care at the time. So then while they're about to kill the dwarves and like figure out what to do with them and stuff, a huge burst of light comes out from the middle of the cave.
Goblins hate light.
And goblins hate light, so it actually kills some of them. And Gandalf is there, and he rescues them. So then they all start fighting and they escape. But as they're escaping, the Great Goblin King is killed. Gandalf kills the Great Goblin King, and
Which pisses off the goblins.
yeah, which pisses them off to a big extent. And Bilbo actually falls down like a little cave, and he's knocked out into a dark place where he soon finds the ring, the One Ring.
The One Ring ruled them all that Sauron crafted. When
Yeah.
There was 7 for the elves, 9 for the elves, 5 for the humans, 3 for the dwarves.
You know, it was 7 for the dwarves, 3 for the elves, 9 for the humans.
Are you sure?
Yeah, positive.
Oh yeah, and then
I searched this stuff up last night.
the 9 with the humans are the ones that turn into the 9 Dark Riders.
Right, with the ring wraiths. But he has no idea. He just thinks it's a little metal ring. So he just puts it in his pocket.
Puts it in his pocket.
It's all good. But
Doesn't
that's
he hear,
where.
is that when he hears the scream from Gollum? Because Gollum realizes he
No,
lost the ring.
he
No, that's after
he
he
meets
talks to
Golem because
the
and so
riddles.
here you read it so you can explain the riddle.
So then he goes, he's lost, he's walking,
He's
and all of a
wandering
sudden
aimlessly
he
through the
finds
cave.
this like puddle, and he's not sure if it's a huge lake or if it's a puddle, but he realizes it's likely a lake because he can hear water dropping into
Doesn't
it.
get stink.
And then he sees this weird creature, it's like this darkish creature coming towards him, and it's singing. He always talks to himself, and he says "my precious" a lot. And they go into a riddle war to ask people riddles because Gollum wants to eat him secretly. Bilbo figures that out. And then, how does the riddles end? They start riddling, and then
Okay, we have to try to wrap up the last chapter quickly,
Okay,
so
so yeah,
we have
this
to
is
give
the
our
last
last
chapter.
thoughts.
So what
Last
happened?
chapter.
So what happens in the riddle thing?
and they argue. Then Gandalf wins.
No,
I mean,
Bilbo wins because his last question, he feels his pocket and he says, "Okay, what's in my pocket?" And Golem has no idea, so he guesses, but he doesn't get it right because what's in his pocket is the ring. But the ring is actually Golem's like prized possession. Golem's obsessed with it. He's corrupted by it.
Yeah.
So he knows that Bilbo won. So instead of trying to lead him out of the cave, he reaches for his ring and says, "Well, I can turn invisible and eat him. He won't know because when you put the ring on, you turn invisible." But he doesn't
Yeah, he
find
doesn't
it,
have it.
so he assumes that Bilbo has it in his pocket,
Yeah,
which he does.
It's the knife he takes, Sting. His sword is the knife he takes from the troll horde.
Okay, so he
It's
does.
just a knife for trolls, but
But,
for them it's a short sword.
So
Gollum
he takes the ring and he runs. But while he's running, he actually falls, and the ring, with his hand in his pocket, the ring gets slipped onto his finger, and he turns invisible. So Golem can't find him, and he realizes that he's invisible. So by doing so, and then Golem kind of tricks himself by talking to himself into leading Bilbo to the exit. So Bilbo gets out and regroups with everyone else. Now, so any final thoughts on
So,
the first 5
I
chapters?
don't know, I found...
Alright, it's not long enough. We
I think,
talked about
No, it is. No, it's
I
good.
think
It
Gollum-
has to be 20 minutes.
It's only
We'll wrap
18
up.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
so
gonna
far we're 18
talk for the
minutes,
last
we're
2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
Gollum's ring must be his protection, because when he puts the ring on, he can't. The goblins can't see him, and he has a great place to live.
Oh, you have to know that Gollum lives under the Goblin King, under his like lair, and what he does is he eats like blind fish in his little cave. But every once in a while, a goblin will get lost, and he puts on his ring, turns invisible, jumps on it, strangles it, and eats it.
Okay.
And that's his like
But yeah,
source
okay,
of
look, so
food.
for
But if he doesn't have the ring, then
I'll
he gets
start.
killed.
what did you think of the first 5
So,
chapters?
you know, I probably agree with McCall. It didn't start as slow as I think McCall explained it. I found maybe like the first couple pages were slow, but then as soon as all the dwarves came in and then Gandalf came into his house unexpectedly, I found it started to pick up there. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. It's a really like intriguing fantasy. I want to know more. I wanted to read more, but you know, gotta stick to 5 chapters.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts, Mike?
Thoughts? Well, I still stand by my decision. The first chapter was boring.
Yeah, okay, Catherine.
Sorry.
So,
I thought it was
Talk about
boring.
more
I thought it was a
no,
little.
like, what did you
The
think
red rest
overall?
of the
Like the
chapters.
overall 5 chapters, like, are you?
I think the
enjoying-
goblin part was really intense, really interesting. I did not expect him to beat Gollum, that's for sure.
What
I
about the
thought he
troll
was a
Gollum
rating?
big
comes
What
in
about the troll rating?
The troll, that was successful. I feel. What am I
troll
gonna say?
rating.
It would. I actually thought Bilbo would run away, and not get attacked by the trolls, and then when he stuck his hand into the troll's pockets or purse or whatever, I thought he would get caught. I didn't think he would get caught. I thought he would run away, but then it really surprised me how he got caught. And then Gandalf's way of saving it was even more surprising, because it was really sneaky and it was really well thought, clever, definitely.
So Nick.
My thoughts on the book. I've already read all 3 of the Lord of the Rings, and I didn't really know about the Hobbit until I watched all 3 Lord of the Ring movies. Then I read all the books. Then I realized there was a prequel, so it kind of excited me when it came up during the independent novels. It starts off great. I mean, I found it jumps right in. Like second chapter, or sorry, halfway through the first chapter, all the dwarves are already at his house.
Yeah, but would you agree like maybe like the first 2 pages?
Well,
First
they
2
do-
pages, but in every book is
The
the
only thing I don't like about it is how they describe everyone's family,
And at the beginning, yeah.
way
Yeah.
back, and so Bilbo, son of Belladonna Took, who's son of the Great Took,
Yeah, it's like a
whose
run-on.
great grandfather
It's like
could
a
ride a
run-on,
horse.
Yeah, it's getting.
It's like it
But
runs.
other than that, it's like
But other than that, yeah, it's good. I find the dwarves, they're pretty cool, but some of them are kind of useless so far. I don't know.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
okay.
and
Thomas,
Can I give my
that's
final thoughts? Oh yeah, so
It's a great book.
I really enjoyed the book, and so far I'm really
Get out of here,
enjoying it, and it's going really well. And especially if you watch Lord of the Rings movies and read the book, it's kind of cool how like the Hobbit connects with things that happen in the movies too. So I'm really enjoying the book a lot, and I'm liking how everything connects and how things in the other movies make more sense. And I'm really excited to see what happens next now that he has the ring and everything.
all right. So those are our first 5 chapters. I guess we're gonna have another
We'll talk
Another
to you later.
update.
summary later.
sometime soon. So,
Thank you. Stay tuned for our next book club meeting.
Ciao.
Shire Squires.